Welcome back, beautiful people. Welcome, Ristra. On today's topic, we're going to talk about environmental factor. Well, if you are new here, you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. On this channel, we talk about so many things that can affect our mental health. And so in today's video, we're going to talk about environmental factor. Previously, we spoke about psychological factor. So today, it's going to be, again, a completely different story of what can actually impact on our mental health. So, Lisra, thank you and welcome. So today, I want you to tell us, what do you understand environmental factor, and what do you think like can make somebody feel or have a mental health issues because of environmental?
Okay, so environmental factors are any factors in the environment which can have an impact upon someone. So things like abuse, stress, trauma, finances, your housing, anything like relation to which affects you as a person from the environment is an environmental factor. And therefore, because we're in default of being healthy, then we all can become unhealthy when things go twisted in terms of our environmental factors. So if the housing is poor, if, for example, if it has a lot of mold and uncomfortable, doesn't have proper temperature, water to bathe and all these things, then of course it will impact upon our mental health. If we're overly stressed out about things, for example, our finances, we're stressed because a relationship going bad, whatever is causing the stress on us, then the stress is an environmental factor, and it can impact our mental health, and that it can make us unwell.
Okay, so now let's have this conversation very clear. And I think it would be very helpful if we speak about one thing after another. So now I like what you just mentioned. Now let's focus much more on emotional abuse. How can emotional abuse affect somebody in terms of mental health?
Okay, so if somebody is emotionally abused, it means that their self-esteem is broken down. They feel as not a person. They feel as something rather than a person, because people tend to you feel happy if you're valued.
Okay.
If people tell you nice things about yourself.
Okay, so hold on there. So you are actually saying that emotional abuse it can be anything to do on how the communication you're having with somebody who is around you. So the kind of words the person used to communicate to you. It can is that person speaking to you in a negative way. Let's say, for example, you're a wife, and then your husband comes home, and what he will say, oh, it's maybe like, you're not good enough, you're not clean, or you don't earn enough. You don't look pretty as I used to see you before we got married, all those kind of things. The more they continue, that can be they can become into abuse. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, because emotional abuse is quite close to it's like similar to psychological abuse. Although it has to do with okay. So it impacts on the person in a negative way because of the way that they see themselves. Their self-esteem is broken down. And your self-worth, your self-value, that's broken down as well. So you see yourself as nothing, lower than the white line in the road.
Okay, so this is really it's very interesting, because if you're out there and you're paying attention, you can see that the type of words you use on your husband, on your wife, on your child, on your neighbor, on family members, those kind of words can make either a positive impact and a negative impact. I think on our previous video, we spoke about how we are very good at pointing on someone's wrongs. They are not good at this, they are not good at that. They are not good enough. And then we just gradually putting their spirit down by using those kind of words. Instead of you, normally, if we have a very loving society, if I meant to see something that you're doing right and I know how it's done, it is better to come and tell you, look, Ristra, I think you're not good at this, but I think I can help you. So if we come much more helpful to each other, instead of being much more critical on how wrong our partners are, or our children's are, or our friends or family, instead of making them feel like, okay, you're not perfect, but actually there is a room to improve, and this is what you can do. I think if everyone could do something like this, the society will be a better place for everyone to be. So the kind of words that we use to people around us, those are the kind of things that make some people feel like they are being emotionally abused. And most people, actually, they don't even know that they are being abused. They don't even know, like, this, having that kind of person torturing you with negative words throughout, that it's emotional abuse. So this is really a very good topic, because it brings awareness to some people who doesn't know what could be abuse like, what could be emotional abuse. Now, let's talk about for people who are witnessing violence throughout their life, or maybe they have seen it, once in a while, it does happen. How does this affect their mental health?
Yeah, because it says that children who witness violence in their home, they actually are affected by that. This is like they are called children of abuse as well. So they are usually taken out from the home and put in the foster care, as if any child who has been hit, or it's as if the child is the one who was the direct person facing the abuse. Because they have witnessed it, they are also considered to be abused. So it's not just not the direct person. And that's why it has to be we have to be very careful in the home, the things that we say, the things that we do, how we treat each other, not only in a home, but the general public, because I consider people as one. Although many people do not see people as one, because some people see people as non-people. However, we have just one human spirit which connects everybody.
Yeah.
So when we say hurtful things or do hurtful things to others, then we hurt not only them, but we hurt ourselves as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Witnessing violence, it can lead to mental health, especially if you tend to have one of the environmental factor one after another. Let's say you're now witnessing your child or your wife living in a household where there is a violence in the house. And then at some point you manage to come out of the environment, you go to another place. So behind your mind, you've already witnessed that. And now you get to environment where let's just say I'm in this workplace and I meet somebody who is kind of emotionally abusing me. So it kind of builds up, right? It builds
Yes.
up. You've been already on this and now you're already on this. And that can also lead to much more of having chronic stress. Now, what is chronic stress? For me, I feel like chronic stress is living in a situation where I'm trying to come out of one situation, one after another, and it's not happening. I've been into emotional abuse. I've left it, but I still have it around me. And now I'm in a workplace. There are people out there who are just emotionally abusing me. And so it's kind of, to me, having chronic stress is having a feeling of wanting something good to happen and you see it is not happening. And also is having a mind of wanting something and you see like, or seeing yourself overcoming something and you realize your life will never get there. So you end up feeling like, okay, I'm coming from this. This is happening. So I will actually never get where I want to be. So it's kind of having a thought of unwanted outcome. And then you end up with the chronic stress. What do you understand about that, Lisa?
What I noticed is that you name the hit the nail on the head because it causes hopelessness. It causes you to feel as if you'll never leave that situation. And what I think is that sometimes the behavior of some people cause something to be attracted to them. So, for example, somebody might leave an abusive relationship and end up in another abusive relationship, and all the relationships they end up is abusive. So that means if you end up in a second abusive relationship, you need to reflect on yourself. That means you need to make some changes in your life because something is attracting these people to you.
Yeah.
So you need to, before you go on to the next relationship, I say you should need to reflect and make some changes in your own life rather than jumping from one like a frog, jumping from one to the next and trying to hope that things would not be the same. Because as long as you have the attractiveness, which we cannot see it, but as long as you have that attractiveness to others, to other abusive situations, then it will come towards you.
I think I definitely see what you are saying, because actually this is the problem. As we've been talking about genetic factor. Yesterday we spoke about psychological factors. So these are the things that contribute on who we become in the future or who we are at the present. And so when you have witnessed or you have gone through one of the events that has led into traumatic stress, or maybe you have any type of mental health. It can be anxiety, can be stress, can be depression, can be anything. This kind of things, they live with us. And when they are living with us, it makes us don't value ourselves as much we should value ourselves. And so we walk with the very low self-esteem, with the no confidence. Everything we do, everything we say, we know that inside of us, we're judging ourselves that, okay, I'm this, but actually, some people, this is how they see me. Well, so that's why you see some people really keep attracting wrong people, because what is at the back of their head, or what the experience they have gone through, it makes them feel like they don't deserve something better. They don't deserve someone who can treat them well. I have one of the moms that the mom I work with. So we were talking about when I first met her, and I told her something. I said, I said, how are you? She said, oh, she was like, oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm feeling very good. And for me, I didn't see that. I didn't see that she's fine. She's feeling very good. And so you can see how we lie to ourselves. I'm not sure if it's because I don't want somebody to ask me, like, if you ask me, how are you? And I say, yes, I'm fine. Thank you. If I say that, no, I'm not feeling too great, maybe we are avoiding the second question for that person to ask you. And then we keep lying ourselves, I'm feeling good when you're not feeling good. So yes, it's maybe about 2 days ago, 3 days ago, we were going through about that conversation I had with her when I started working with her. And then I reminded her that when I used to speak to you, I will ask you, how are you? You would say, you are fine, thank you. But for me, that's not what I was saying. So I was like, why were you lying to yourself? Why were you lying to yourself? You took so long to realize that you're lying to yourself. So if things are not going well with you, it's very good to verbally say it, that I'm not feeling too great. Maybe this is what I'm going through. If someone is ready to listen and not listening, for me, I don't really care. As long as I'm not lying to myself, because when you do that, it becomes a routine, it becomes a part of you, it becomes you, and you keep lying to yourself over and over again. And that's why you see people keep attracting really wrong people, because what they are telling themselves, that's not who they are. And when that person gets to know you, they will realize, oh, this is not what I saw. Now it's something else. Yeah. So anyway, so let's keep going on and talk about people who are living in poverty. How can poverty affect someone's mental health?
Okay, so poverty leads to stress. We can see the connection because you haven't got enough to eat, you haven't got enough physical things to keep yourself well. So you're always stressing about the next event. And therefore, because of that, then poverty leads to stress, and extreme stress leads to mental illness.
And thank you for saying that. Now, let's think about poverty and let's think about people who are very rich. So is it about living in lucky life and someone else is living in a fulfilling life? Or is it about how we accept who we are? Because I think for me, everything should start from acceptance. This is who I am at the moment. And so if I don't like what I'm saying, what am I going to do about it? Because I'm sure when we say that maybe poverty can lead to, mental health, it's true, it can really lead to mental health. But this sound like rich people don't have a mental health issue. And they do.
Yeah.
They do. And
Yeah.
they have everything they ever wish in life.
Yeah,
So
because you can be rich and in poverty, because currency is not necessarily rich. First of all, we have to understand what is poverty. So poverty is when somebody doesn't feel fulfilled with their life. So you can have millions, you can have billions, but you're not fulfilled within yourself. You in poverty. And that's what we fail to sometimes realize, that poverty and currency are not equal. Because there are people who do not have a lot of currency, but they're happy. So that means they're not in poverty. And there are people with lots of currency who are in poverty.
yeah, so which means it's like how everyone in this situation see themselves and how they are going to value themselves and what is going on in their mind. Because I feel like even the person who is very rich, if that person also can have a mental health issues, and the same as someone who is living in poverty, who lacks, still also have mental health issues. Now, you get to realize that it's about what you're telling yourself. What are you telling yourself? So you are rich, but then you're having a mental health. So what is the problem? I'm sure there must be something else that, you know, is bringing you to that mental state. And when you are poor, you are thinking, okay, I'm poor because I can't afford this, I can't afford this, I can't afford this. So how about you getting to realize that, yes, I am poor, but I think I can work very hard until I get to where I want to be. Because I remember when I was out of parent house, this is maybe a completely a different story, but at some point I was homeless about more than 6 or 7 years. And I lived on the street begging for food. I didn't have no clothes to wear. I could wear one dress throughout the year, no shoes, no nothing. So in that state, I was definitely to the lowest. But then every single day, I was like, okay, I know I'm this today, but I know tomorrow will be better. I think it's all to do what you tell to yourself, how you try to manage your mental state. If you allow the poverty to kick in you, you sing about poverty and you wake up into it, you feel like, yeah, I'm poor, I can't afford this. You will definitely end up stressed. You will end up in lack, and it will affect how you feel. It will affect your mental health. But if you're trying to think alternative way, you know you are living in this poverty today, but tomorrow will be a better day for you. I think for that's the better way of making ourselves get to somewhere instead of being into chronicle of mental health where we feel like we're stuck, we cannot come out of it.
Yes, I like to share a little story now. So one day, this man had one banana left. He said, "Oh, I eat just one banana, I go and die." So he went up on a tree, ate the one banana, threw the skin. Before he could look sharp, somebody went and pick up the skin and eating it. So that means somebody was worse off than him. So when we think that we are in a worse state, think about the other people who are worse than us. And therefore, just gratefulness, that's a powerful tool. Because if we're grateful for the small things, for the things that we consider small, but they can't be bought, they can't be purchased with any amount of money. So that means the value beyond things like breathing, things like being able to walk. Some people cannot walk. Like with me, I can't walk a straight line, so I can't skip anymore. So if you can't do these things, these are things that you should be grateful for, the small things in life which can't be bought. And the fact that you can do certain things mean you can earn.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do is use your brain a bit.
Yeah, I think Lisa, you really said something that really moved me. I think at some point we all have been affected. And I think it's all of us how we have managed to cope throughout our lives, and kind of message we have been giving to ourselves, kind of people maybe have been around us, and also feeling grateful. I mean, you waking up. I remember the time when I was homeless for that length. Most of the time I used to sleep with some, other kids who are by that time I was very young. I became homeless when I was 8 years of age. And then from that time, so most of the time when we will go to sleep somewhere, hiding somewhere and sleep. And most of the time I will wake up, maybe one of the other children, they won't wake up. They are gone, dead. And it was just kind of a continuous factor saying, going to sleep, I will wake up and another child is gone. I'll go to sleep, another mom is gone or another dad is gone. Like, and then so for me, every single day when I wake up, I see, I can touch, I'm healthy, nothing has touched me. I used to feel very grateful. So how are you feeling? Are you really feeling grateful that you actually managed to wake up this morning and you manage to go to work and come back. You manage even to get food to eat, because I remember there is a time where I used to go and beg for food. I won't get the food. You know, some people will be like, oh no, we have already finished eating. We're done. And I know I'm going to beg for food during lunchtime. You know, some people will be much more generous to give you, and some other people, they want to give you. They want to give you. So I think it's about as how we feel grateful every single day, of not taking granted of what is surrounding you. And actually, you don't get to realize that what you're going through is a part of university classes you're attending, because these things should be teaching you. Your poverty should be teaching you. This emotional abuse should be teaching you. Chronic stress should be teaching you. Violence should be teaching you, because if I'm living in violence life, you know, in background, like everywhere where I live, this is what I'm witnessing every day. This is not the life I want to live in the future, will I? I would definitely hope for the best. I'll be like, hell no, because who want to be physically abused? No. If I'm being physically abused today, I don't want to ever be physically abused tomorrow. Never, never. And that's your choice. But for me, I'm like, well, if this is my experience today and I don't like it, which means it can never be reported. I mean, it can never be repeated again. So anyway, so there is so much we can talk about when it comes to environmental factors. But in today's video, I've really enjoyed. Listra, what did you like about today's video?
Well, I like the fact that we can bring out the emotional aspect and show people how we are not different. Everybody can experience similar situation and it's equal, whether you have a lot of money or you don't have a lot of money, or it's all about the mindset and your thinking patterns. And then we can all learn from our experiences to be better in the future. So that's a powerful learning.
Well, thank you so much for people who are out there listening to us. And if you liked anything we said today, or you have any comment to share, please make your comment below. And also, if you like to join us in our conversation, please do, because on this channel, we like talking about this topic because it is something affects anyone at any time. And also speak about on how we can be able to manage and control our mental health so that you can live in beautiful and a loving society.
Okay, so remember to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos, and give your comments, and let us know whenever you're ready to go live. We are willing to discuss this issue.
So much. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. Thank you.
Thank you.